June it was June 25th of last year, I got engaged.
You know, what you want your color scheme to be, your budget. I even like how it has a different style you want of your wedding. You know, your bridesmaids, groomsmen.
This is only the beginning.
What is up, YouTube? Hello, everyone. I just thought I would sit down this afternoon and drink one of these and give everyone a wedding update. So let me introduce myself again. My name is Kelsey Wolf, for those of you who are new here. Please feel free to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you like this video, because that lets me know that this is content that people like or enjoy. So I, again, am still very new to YouTube, but I thought I would film a wedding update. So in June it was June 25th of last year, I got engaged. And it is already June of 2021. So my fiance, Nick, and I are having a longer engagement. We are getting married in June of next year, 2022. And I just thought it would be fun to vlog or, you know, make videos of the wedding planning process, because these are things that I will have to keep forever. And I've really just been trying to enjoy the wedding planning process. I've heard from several people that it can be stressful, and I'm really just trying to enjoy it and yeah, soak it all in. So the first thing I want to bring up is, oh, and I will link down in the description box below. I did make a video a while back of how Nick and I met, kind of how our love story evolved and how he proposed. So I'll link that in the description box below if you would like to see that video. But yeah, this is kind of gonna be just like a wedding series on my YouTube channel, and I'm so excited because this is kind of the first one. So first of all, I recommend when you get engaged, or if you're already engaged and you're also planning a wedding, it is so nice to have a wedding planner. I got this one off of Etsy, and I'll actually play the description of this book right now.
Okay, so I wanted to pop on my story real quick and share. I'm so excited. I found one of the best wedding planner books on Etsy, and I also got my younger sister one that's very similar. You can choose like the color of the cover, and then you can also choose like if you want the foil of the writing in rose gold or silver or regular gold. I chose rose gold because it kind of goes with the theme of my ring. My ring band is rose gold. But yeah, this is just a really great wedding planner. If you have a friend that's getting engaged, or is engaged, or a family member, find this on Etsy. It is so great. It has literally a bunch of different, it has like a budget tab, you know, checklist, to-do lists, vendors. And then I love how when you open the book, the first page is literally just an overview. So, you know, what you want your color scheme to be, your budget. I even like how it has a different style you want of your wedding. You know, your bridesmaids, groomsmen. So I am so excited about this. Again, it's on Etsy. I think this was called Paper Peach Bound. I don't know. So great purchase.
Got a wedding planning book. And what's so crazy, but kind of cool, is my younger sister is also engaged. So I have a younger sister. She's 2 years younger than me, and she is also engaged right now, and her wedding is this November. So I actually found that wedding planner because I got her one first. So that's kind of my first tip I recommend, is get a wedding planner. Like a wedding planner or a wedding planning book. After that though, the very first thing that I recommend you do before any type of planning for your wedding is come up with a budget. So decide, what do you want your budget to be like? Because your budget is the driving force, right, of everything planning your wedding. You just want to have some sort of budget in mind when you're planning your wedding, because if you don't have a budget, things add up real quick and you'll be like, oh my God, I just spent X amount of money and, I still have all this stuff left I need to get for my wedding and I'm already over budget. Coming up with a decent budget that fits for you and your fiance, and just try to stick with that. So that's the very first thing I did, was I sat down with Nick. We thought of what would be an appropriate budget to spend on a wedding day. Now, after you have figured out a budget, the next thing I recommend is find a venue. So this part was really fun. I'm really bummed I didn't vlog the wedding venue experience. I feel like that would have been kind of cool to look back on. But honestly, throughout this whole year that Nick and I have been engaged, and through the start of our wedding planning, I've just tried to soak up every moment and enjoy it. And I feel like sometimes if I'm putting things on video, it's harder for me to really soak it all in. So finding a venue. So when you are finding a wedding venue, sorry, I put some notes down. You kind of have to think about, okay, do you want to get married in the city where you and your fiance live? So my fiance, Nick, and I, we actually currently live in Charlotte, but we're getting married at a venue in Wilmington. So, those are things to think about. Do you want to get married in the city you're currently living in? Do you want to get married in a city maybe where you're from or where your fiance's from? Or do you want to do a destination wedding? So those are things you kind of want to think about when you're deciding a venue. And that's why it's important to first establish a budget so you can also look for venues within your budget. So Nick and I'll just give you a quick example. Nick and I looked at some places in Charleston. Nick's family is from Cleveland, and a lot of my extended family is from the Cincinnati area or in other parts of Ohio. And I personally did not want to have an Ohio wedding. I wanted to have a Southern wedding, and I always knew I wanted to get married under like those big, historic, beautiful oak trees. So when I envisioned that, I thought of, Charleston or Savannah, because Charleston and Savannah have some really beautiful, they have those big trees. So I know that sounds silly, but those are things to think about. And we looked in Charleston. We actually visited Charleston and looked at some places. And then we also looked, we didn't visit Savannah to look at some, but I looked at some online. The Knot can be like your best friend. When you're looking for venues, The Knot always has great venues, and you can filter your search based on what you want. So if you go to the Knot website or the Knot app, they have an app, you can literally filter your results. You can search a city, filter your results on how many guests you think you'll have, kind of what your vibe is, and it'll show you a list of venues. So I cannot take credit for the venue that Nick and I booked. I actually have to give credit to my mom because she found actually the venue that Nick and I are gonna be getting married at. So it is so funny because Nick and I don't have any family from Wilmington. Nick and I have not been to Wilmington very often, but when my mom showed me this venue and we went to go visit it, I just fell in love and I knew that was the place I wanted to get married at. So I will actually insert a picture here. This is our venue. It is called Wrightsville Manor and it is near Wrightsville Beach in Wilmington. And what's great about that venue is it had the vibe I was looking for. There is just one oak tree, but it's beautiful, and that's where I plan on having this ceremony, is under that specific tree it's called the oak lawn. And fingers crossed it doesn't rain. It's gonna be beautiful, it's gonna be perfect, but positive vibes. Yeah, when you're looking for a venue, just think about, the things that you have envisioned or that you want for your wedding. And like I said, the Knot is a great way to find venue options. So after you've come up with a budget, you've found a wedding venue, that wedding venue is gonna give you dates that they have open. So actually, Nick and I kind of got lucky because the venue that we chose is pretty popular in Wilmington, and luckily, since we knew we were gonna have like a 2-year-long engagement, we were able to book it so far out in advance. But that's kind of how you find your date for your wedding, is honestly based on what your venue has available. So Nick and I are getting married in June of 2022, and we thought that was perfect because even though it's a longer engagement than we had planned, it is just a lot of time. Well, it gives us plenty of time to plan, but it also, we knew that COVID would be over by then. I knew when I got married, I just did not want my guests having to wear masks, and so it worked out. And I'm a school teacher and I have the summer off. So June was kind of that perfect time, and that's how we found our date. Okay, so after you have found, and I will insert some pictures here of our trip to Wilmington when we booked our venue. After you have found a venue and you've set your date, I recommend is to find a wedding planner. So Nick and I ended up paying a little extra money to get a wedding planner. So if you're interested in getting a wedding planner, so they have wedding planners, they offer different packages. So you can get a wedding planner that is like full-time with you during the whole process, helps, goes to appointments with you, to vendors, helps you, pick out your flowers, or you can get even just like a day of or a few weeks prior wedding planner. So since Nick and I are not from Wilmington and we don't know the area super great, we decided to pay a little extra and get pretty much a full-time wedding planner. So it kind of just depends on what you and your fiance need. If you're doing a destination wedding, I recommend getting a full-time wedding planner, or at least like a 6-month out wedding planner. Now, if you're someone who's local, you might not need a wedding planner, but you might want someone the day of to help just kind of orchestrate and execute, you know, getting everything set up on your wedding day, because you don't want to be worrying about that on your wedding day. You want to be relaxing with your bridesmaids, sipping on some champagne. That's at least what I want. So we decided to go with a wedding planner, and we did do 2 Zoom calls. I met with 2 wedding planners, and we ended up going with the second one, and she is just awesome. Her name's Olivia, and she has been a huge help so far in the wedding planning process. Yes. Once you've established a budget, once you've chosen a venue and set a date, and you have a wedding planner, or you at least maybe have some sort of wedding planning book that can keep you organized, the 3 big things that are super important to book far in advance are your caterer, your photographer and or videographer, and music. So those are the 3 things that Nick and I booked very early on, because those are like the big things in the wedding, is your music, the food, and the person taking your pictures. So Nick and I booked those 3 things early on, and those are the 3 things that I recommend doing probably like a year out. Those are like the things that you want to book like right away after you have your venue. As I also mentioned beforehand, I get these cards. I've been getting a lot of my bridesmaids cards from a company called Zazzle. So I got this card. So I just wanted to show you my little bridesmaids gift set up for this weekend. My Bluemate for Kendall. It literally matches her flowers from her wedding. Texas picture frame. We loved watching this movie in college.